Our live guest right now is Todd Buchholz, a former White House Director of Economic Policy. And bring up the IMF, Todd, today, not only for self-promotion about our show on Thursday, but they did cut their global outlook again. It's 3 times in 6 months. And if anything was interesting about today is that the U.S. wasn't immune. It wasn't like, hey, the rest of the world's a mess, but the U.S. is okay. How do you see things?
Well, the U.S. is still doing far better.
Yeah.
The fact is, the U.S. has this Goldilocks scenario, a cliche everyone keeps using. The rest of the world is more like locks, like a dead smoked salmon just sitting there and not moving. When you look around the world, there's certain countries that are bringing down the average. Argentina's a mess. Turkey's a mess. China's been skidding. In fact, by contrast, the U.S. is best in class. But, yeah, it is a pretty weak class at the moment.
So it's a question of whether that class is pulling us down, or do we have our own issues, self-inflicted ones, and in particular trade. Will the trade war, not only with China, but now today Europe's in the news, the USMCA trade deal, that's still not passed. Is that something that could really, drag on things the rest of the year?
I do think it is the case that there are businesses that are a little bit more hesitant to make capital investment than they otherwise would. And obviously the Trump administration is making a calculus here. They're deciding that it is better to engage in these trade disputes now when the U.S. has been growing stronger than other countries. Is that true?
Is this the time to do it? Or is there ever a time to do it?
Well, so far, if you look at the U.S. versus China, both countries have probably been injured a little bit by the trade war. But it seems the Chinese are getting the worst are suffering more than the U.S., which is why they keep coming back to the table. And if the Chinese were not suffering, they would not have flown on Boeing jets to come to Washington, D.C. to negotiate.
So say we get a deal soon, and a lot of people seem to be assuming that we will with China. It doesn't necessarily mean that the other, quote-unquote, trade wars or the other fronts of the trade war, whether it's Europe or, as I said, even Canada and Mexico, that all that just gets solved. I mean,
well, that's right. President Trump said he was a tariff man. He said he was a debt man. Well, he seems to be working on both of those fronts. And as you point out, Connell, it's not just China. When the president came into office, he first turned north to those dastardly Canadians. So I don't know whether they're going to be accusing them of dumping Canadian Mountie horses or what the next claim will be.
I don't know.
But we're probably not done.
I don't know. We're probably not. But all of that said, and you brought this up right away, things do look pretty good here. What's the key? Why are we holding up so well? The employment picture's great still,
The key is inflation.
Yeah.
The key is that inflation has not bubbled up, which means the Fed has no strong reason to raise interest rates. And if interest rates are low, people can afford to borrow, and equities continue to look attractive. There's an old adage, don't fight the Fed.
Right.
And, boy, that has paid off for investors over this economic cycle.
It's funny because the IMF puts out this warning, essentially, or this new global outlook today, and they did talk about trade as one of the big things dragging, but they also talked about the potential for tighter monetary policy, which I thought was backward-looking, probably.
Exactly. Connell, you have to understand, I'm sure you do. How does this work? The IMF is composed largely of bureaucrats.
Yeah.
They don't deliver immediately. They don't do real-time analysis. It takes them a while to look over drafts and so on. So what you were reading today is not last week's news, but probably last year's news.
It sounds that way, especially on monetary policy.
And now, also remember, the IMF is involved, well, put it this way, when you ask Christine Lagarde about her earlier career in synchronized swimming, she was a competitive synchronized swimmer, and the IMF believes in synchronizing global growth. Well, it's very difficult to get that done in a capitalist economy, which we have here.
Little known fact, Melissa and I also do that. It's the mixed doubles. We're huge in synchronized swimming. We do it after the show.
I'm afraid I'll have to miss that. I think my segment must be over.
Oh, it certainly is. Thank you, Todd.